Got Journey, Separate Ways on my fantasy playlist March 18th, 1983 at number 5. Journey rocking out. They could rock out at times. Journey's, excuse me, Journey had an enormous fan base back in the day. They probably still do. The classic stadium bands, arena bands, filling up the stadiums and the arenas, and they came out with one classic record after another. I appreciate them a lot more now than I did back then, and I'll go into Steve Perry in just a little bit. Journey, this song, Separate Ways, got a Motown sound to it. It's got heavy rock, but you hear that Motown, that rocking Motown, as if the Funk Brothers were playing on this track. Motown's in-house band. When I think of this is an all-American song. I can't really see a song like this going top 10 in England because this is straight Americana. 100%. When I think of this song, I envision going back to 1983, a 16, 17-year-old in the Midwest. Could be Iowa, it could be Michigan or upper Midwest, Michigan, Milwaukee, 17, 18-year-old going to a factory job. He's got his FM, well, AM or FM radio cranked up and this song is playing. It fits the tempo. It fits the industrial tempo. And I can't really put my finger on it. I'm doing a poor job explaining it. But it's, well, anyway, we got an industrial sound to it, Motown sound to it. This song was written by Steve Perry and Jonathan Cain. It came together during the Escape tour. They usually don't write for their next album way ahead of time. But Steve Perry and Jonathan Cain, they were group members, they were backstage. Jonathan Cain had his bass guitar, and they came up with a melody. Steve Perry and Jonathan Cain came up with a melody right there. I mean, it just happened backstage. And next day, the lyrics fell together. Came up with the lyrics. There you go. Got yourself a hit record. And number 8 went to number 8 on Billboard's Hot 100 for six consecutive weeks. The band, I'm just going over my notes here. I'm losing my train of thought. The album was Frontiers, by the way. The band formed. Now, even though this song to me had a Midwestern sound, Journey is from San Francisco. They came from San Francisco and they formed in 1973, well before they had hit records. And they were originally known as the Golden Gate Rhythm Section. And they were put together, assembled, under a guy named Herbie Herbert, former manager of Santana. Later became Journey, and Herbie Herbert brought in Steve Perry. Steve Perry came on board in 1977. And some of the early hits by Journey. There was Wheel in the Sky. That went to number 57 on Billboard's Hot 100. Late 70s, 1977, 1978. And there was Lights, written by Steve Perry. He wrote that song not long after he joined Journey. It's supposed to be about Los Angeles, but it was really about San Francisco, the city of their origin. Remember listening to that song on WKOR from Starkville, Mississippi. They played it back in the summer of 1978. Now, wasn't that cool? And then there was Love and Touch and Squeeze in their big top 40 entry in the summer of 1979. And the rest is history. I believe it was Girl Can't Help It. My favorite song by Journey. I wasn't a big Journey fan back in the day. Beatles, Rolling Stones guy, Herman's Hermits, Peter and Gordon. Not Journey, but still appreciate Journey a lot more now. They came up. And as a matter of fact, by the 90s, it was weird. I found myself missing Journey. Steve Perry was a great blue-eyed soul singer. When he did Oh Sherry, boy, he ripped it out. He was approaching Otis Redding. He was getting on up there. Not quite up with Otis. You're not going. It's kind of tough to get up there with Otis Redding and Percy Sledge, all those great soul singers from the '60s. But still, Steve Perry, he got that soul. You Better Wait in 1994. I flipped over that record by Steve Perry. That was a wonderful record by him. You Better Wait. That soulful singing, that yearning, and, well, blue-eyed soul, baby. That's right. Steve Perry and Journey, Separate Ways, number 5 on my fantasy playlist, March 18th, 1983.